Hey, this is your host, Jordan Rothwell Perry. Welcome to the Clicks and Giggles podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. So, where are we at right now? It is the end of October, if you're listening live or close to live when this comes out. It's almost the election. So, we're seeing ad costs go up. We're seeing the feed kind of just wild with extra posts than you would normally see. We're seeing a lot of natural disasters, which is bringing A, devastation, which is horrible, and B, a lot of posts in the feed too. So there's just a lot going on for people to consume and see. So hang tight. Hang tight if you're a marketer going, holy moly. Also, if you run an ad, you can break through that noise. So, I am very pro that. But anywho, I wanted to talk today about how I would promote a challenge. So I see a ton of challenges being put out into the web universe, and I wanted to put my spin on it and give some tips for how I would promote a challenge. If you've been thinking of doing one or are doing one, I hope these help you. So something that I always recommend is for you to use the thank you page for a freebie, opt-in, lead magnet, whatever you want to call it. That is such good real estate to lead someone elsewhere. So rather than just saying, thank you for signing up, check your inbox, you can actually put information about your challenge on the thank you page. So say you are right now promoting a free guide, change that thank you page to mark your calendar for the challenge. Click here to learn more and get your spot. So think about how you're using, just in general, your thank you page as real estate right now, because, if you're getting people to download your guide every day or lead magnet, why not guide them into what's next? I mean, that's the whole premise of this marketing thing, right? Is we are guiding people where they need to go. And then if they're a good fit, of course, we want to get them as a paying client or customer. So guide them on the thank you page to your challenge. Next, low-hanging fruit, email. Do you have an email list? I hope you do. Start emailing them, inviting them. That is low-hanging fruit where maybe they aren't ready for a higher ticket offer, or they're not ready yet necessarily to work one-on-one with you in some capacity, but they can invest in a challenge and come, spend $47, $97, $200, whatever it costs, and just kind of go up the ladder, up the offer ladder rung of what it's like to work with you. And so that's a good way to get some people engaged. Look at your email list, start emailing them, start inviting them. Pro tip, make sure you exclude anyone who's already signed up for the challenge so that they're not confused and or annoyed that you're emailing them. Definitely look at that segmentation and make sure that's right. Then third, of course, ads. I'm always going to add a paid component, a way to promote and be seen, right? So you could start small, even boosting a post. I'm not a huge boost to post fan. I believe you should go into Ads Manager and get your hands dirty and learn it. If you don't want to get your hands dirty, I will gladly do that for you. And if you're like, I just need more eyeballs on this, I need people to know that this is existing, this is coming out, you can take a post on your feed and put some money behind it. I still would go in Ads Manager. And so what you'll do in the part where you can create an ad, you'll actually click use existing post and then look for the feed post you did and use it that way. You can also use a reel as long as it doesn't use copyrighted music. So then you're not even having to build something out, but you can control the targeting. So when we talk about challenges, what I have seen is that people who are in their realm, in your kind of warm sphere, jumped in fully. From my experience, I've seen them do well at jumping into a challenge. I've also seen cold people who don't know you yet jumping into a challenge. But I would encourage you, when you market this, to remember, you are asking people to give up their time. So not only, yes, you are busy, you are a business owner, and this will pay off, right? By people signing up and giving you money. But for someone to go to a challenge and they're paying, they're also giving up a decent chunk of their time. So please make it worth their while, right? So I think you also have to remember that too, of like, there's this value exchange where even if they are, especially if they're paying, they know they're giving their time up. But if you are doing something that's free and it's going to take some time out of their day and they're just getting to know you, make sure they know, even in the marketing, like, hey, this is going to be worth your time because this is what you will leave being able to do. So with the ad, you could just go warm to upload your email list. You could do people who have been to your Instagram the last 365 days or interacted in some way. You could do people who have gone to your website in the last 180 days if you have the pixel on there. That's why I preach putting the pixel on there, even if you're not ready to advertise for months. And if you have a Facebook page people are active on, you could do your Facebook page the last 365 days and really get in front of that. I call it a broader warm audience. And that way you're getting the message in front of them. So not only are you posting on stories about it, emailing about it on the thank you page, but your ads are working for you as you're sleeping or living life, momming, adulting, whatever it may look like. They are running and reaching people who are warm and close to you to remind them to get in. And then you could also do ads to a cold audience who may not know you yet for them to sign up too. I actually have a client right now who is in the middle of a challenge. As this is, going live, she'll be in the middle of a challenge, but we set a goal knowing what her conversion rate is and her goals and numbers and how she does to have 1,500 people sign up for her challenge. It's free. So there's not the barrier of entry of them paying. And she's ensured them, hey, this is going to be worth your while. Show up. And then we know, reverse engineering the numbers. Hey, if this pans out as it has in the past, plus targeting the email list we've been growing, plus targeting some people we know are on the fence and need to get off, who have initiated checkout in the last 180 days, we are set to be in this realm of a launch should everything go well. So I've talked before about how marketing is a math equation. Once you know what the leads are coming in at, what's your conversion rate, all this good stuff, that is something too to know that, I would say if you haven't promoted your challenge paid yet, start doing it, test the waters, and then you can scale it up to a certain point where you're like, hey, this is free. My goal is this many people in. Cool. What is my cost per lead usually? Here's the budget. Let's go. And then if it is paid, let's look at, okay, what's it going to cost to get someone to sign up for it? What is it worth it for you to get a client? So I've done challenges where we've paid like $50 for someone to sign up. We've paid $100 for someone to pay and sign up. We've paid $20. It just has depended on when we're running the ads, what type of challenge it is, who we're targeting, all that good stuff. There's so many different variables. And the thing my clients and I always look at and agree on ahead of time is like, what is it worth it for you to get a client? What does a client on average pay you? So would you pay $100 to get a client? Like for me and my one-on-one clients, I will spend $1,000 to get a client because I know what they pay me. And sometimes I'll pay even more. I was talking with a client about this actually today, and she learned from Brooke Castillo, who founded Life Coach School. And Brooke very much encourages, or in the past encouraged, like, hey, you go out there and run ads and figure out what it costs to get someone in. And say your program's $5,000 and you spend $5,000 on ads and you get one person in. Well, how many other leads did you get that you can follow up with over time to then get them in? And it compounds and say it's 10 more people who sign up 6 months down the road. Well, then that's $55,000 spending $5,000. So this whole marketing thing, it really is like a game of time. It's looking at the runway of time you have. It's looking at how long does it take someone to convert, and ultimately like you needing to know what is it worth it for you to get a client. So when someone comes to me with, if you only had a $30 membership per month, well, hey, to pay my ad management fee and ad spend, you would be better off doing it yourself. But if you know that you have a membership, people love it, they stay in it, and 15% of your members become one-on-one clients, that's a totally different ballgame in business and story. So that is like kind of my rabbit trail soapbox on getting a client and lifetime value. But when you do a challenge, keep that in mind. Like, it's not just, I don't view challenges as moneymakers. Like, by any means, I view challenge as a way for you to acquire a customer or acquire a lead for them to spend time with you, and then you sell them into the bigger, higher ticket offer, whether it's coaching with you, a one-on-one experience into your group coaching program, all that good stuff. You are courting them to the finish line of getting them where you want them to be. Or this is just a touch point in the journey and they'll be back. They may have to like hang on the sidelines for a bit and see what else you're up to, build more trust with you to then buy you, buy from you. And so even if you're not doing a challenge or not doing a live event right now, definitely ponder the what is it worth it for you to get a client, because you have to know that. You have to, like, in order to figure out how to grow your business, knowing what's it worth for you to get a client and then what you make on average per client, that will help you so much to be able to make easy business decisions. Just to know, hey, where do I want to go? How many clients do I even need? On average, a client spends X with me, but they spend this per year. Perfect. In 2025, I want to make X. What do I need? Like, it truly is just a formula. And then you go out and you get those leads, you get more connections, and then figure out what your conversion rate is to get them in. And then you just keep growing your business. So that's my average order value, customer acquisition, lifetime value spiel. So with the challenge, obviously, it's very important to focus on, because I do not view the challenge itself as the moneymaker. I view what happens after it as the moneymaker. And so that being said, my next question and tip for you is like, where do they go after? So yes, we want to promote the challenge, get them in, hope they buy what we're selling at the end of the challenge. And if they don't, what are you going to do? So for example, the client who's doing a challenge right now, she wants to get them in October. Well, we already know we're doing another live event in January to have a great beginning of the year launch, because it's a year-long program they have. And our messaging is really like, have your best year in business yet, along with some other stuff that I just can't tell you. But where do they go after? So we already know. And we also know from looking back on the data and the numbers. And I literally pulled, and this is something you do, I freaking pulled her list of people who bought her program. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they've gone to 2 of your live events. And specifically, we're like these 2 with this name. And so we know that it might take 2 of them before they invest in the program. And that's totally fine. Like, you want a mixture of buyers in your program. You don't want people who just heard about you and bought. If all of them did, you probably wouldn't have, in my opinion, some qualified buyers. You may have buyers who think you can solve this huge problem for them, that they need to do some work ahead of time. Like, you want people who are all in different stages of the buying journey when they buy. That's my opinion. You could DM me and disagree with me if you want all new buyers. But like for me, before you work with me, I want you to know that like, hey, ads aren't a Band-Aid. Hey, ads aren't your last resort in your business. And if they are your last resort, it's too late, in my opinion. Go back and do this, and this. So if I do a challenge, someone wants to work with me the next day, I need them to know certain things before we can work together. And so I would assume same for you with some people. So as we're talking about where they go after, for me, for example, I would say, hey, go tighten up your landing pages. Hey, you said you were going to redo your website. I agree. I would do that now. Hey, you have branding photos in 3 weeks. Let's regroup once you have those photos done. So then your creative can reflect that. Or, oh, you are getting branding done. Perfect. This is the timeline. And so know that you have to find a place for these people to go after so you can keep nurturing them. So A, they're going to be on your email list, so you can email them, keep in touch, keep nurturing them. But B, do you have another touch point set up whether it's a webinar, a workshop. The client of mine in this launch, she does like an open coaching call you can come to, and then also does a Q&A session. Like there's all these different touch points along the journey for someone who's like, okay, but what about this? And so really by anticipating the need or question they may have, you can figure out that next touch point so you can guide them into working with you in a higher paid capacity. So that really those are some thoughts on challenges, how I would promote it. I would literally do the same thing for a webinar, a workshop, masterclass, whatever you want to call it nowadays, just where you are having people come to work with you in a group setting, free or low ticket. They're getting to spend time with you. Just also planning ahead of like, okay, great, this, and what does the next 6 months look like after they come to this? And that will really help you kind of flesh out more of the buyer's journey in ways that you can nurture them, because they need a little loving before they buy. And so that's just a good reminder for you, especially if you're in it for the long game, if you're in it for the long haul, like let's freaking go get some leads and nurture them, and let's see when they get off the fence. So that is my spiel of how I would promote a challenge or any type of event, lead event where you're going to work with some leads and love on them well. So I hope this helped you. Let me know if it helped you at all. And I cannot wait to see you soon and talk to you soon on the Clicks and Giggles podcast.